Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Scott Arthur Formanak.
Thank you, Mr. Formanak. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of Term 1. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Formanak, I'm affirming bond amount of $1,500. However, I believe you are currently in DOC custody, so payment of that bond will not secure your release. Again, probation hearings August 7th, 8:30 a.m. You will be transported there. Mr. Formanak, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Travis Hanks and then Tiffany Vargas will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Travis Hanks, 10.
Thank you, Mr. Hanks. Mr. Hanks, you're here on the Superior Court direct complaint arrest warrant charged with 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 6th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing August 8th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Hanks, I'm affirming the bond. It's a cash-only bond amount of $1,500. However, you are currently in DOC custody, so payment of that bond will not secure your release, and they will transport you to court on the 6th and your other court dates. Mr. Hanks, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Tiffany Vargas and then Angelica Garcia will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Tiffany Vargas.
Ms. Vargas, you're here on a Superior Court arrest warrant and a Superior Court probation violation. And in your new case, ma'am, I find probable cause for the allegation of 1 count of theft, control of a credit card, which is a Class 5 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 6th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing August 8th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am setting bond amount of $500 in this case and $500 in your probation case, so total bond is $1,000. It's secured appearance, meaning you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral, which would be $100. If you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're promising to comply with supervision and to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're also not to possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Then, Ms. Vargas, you have an alleged Term 1 probation violation as well because of this new arrest. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Again, bond the amount of $500 in this case with those same conditions and restrictions of release. Ms. Vargas, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so I actually am in school right now. I finally went back to school at University of Phoenix, and I'm getting my business degree. And they're really strict about missing class, and if I don't get bonded out, then I'm going to miss class, and then I'm going to flunk out of school, basically. They're going to kick me out.
Okay.
And I'm really worried about that happening, because this is one of the best things that's happened to me in a long time, is how I'm going to finally get my life back in.
Yeah. So the issue is, Ms. Vargas, that according to your probation notes, you haven't been checking in.
I've actually been checking in. I missed this month, and I let her know because I had to have 2 teeth pulled that same day, and then I was working for the elections. I was a poll worker for the elections yesterday, and so I wasn't able to.
Okay, well, it's saying last field contact 4 of 2024, last report dated 5/1/2024. So there hasn't.
Yeah, I haven't been missing.
It's been months, I guess. Let's see, there's a virtual office visit on May 1st of 2024. What they're reporting is that they are submitting for a petition to revoke.
Yeah, I haven't been missing my meetings. It was just this month, and that was just because I had my teeth pulled and I was doing the election.
Well, so it looks like though the last one was May 1st.
Well, she came when I went into the office the last time once, but then she came to my house the next time.
Okay, and it's not showing. I'm not seeing a note on that.
That's weird. Yeah, her and some other lady came to my house And then she said I didn't have to come into the office that month because she came to my residence.
Yeah, because, I mean, late June, it's saying that your whereabouts are unknown.
I don't know why she would put that. That's so weird, because I've been in contact with her this whole time, and even when I didn't go in, I was texting her or calling her, either or. I was always in communication with her. There was never a time where she didn't know where I was. And with my probation officers I had before her, it was the same thing.
All right, just a moment, ma'am. It looks like... It's the wrong probation notes that are here, ma'am. So I apologize about that.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Ms. Vargas. Yeah, because I don't have the proper notes, so I'm just going to take your word for it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So... I'm going to release you on your own recognizance in the probation warrant case, and in your arrest warrant case, I am going to release you on supervised release.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
That really means a lot to me.
You're welcome, ma'am. I'm glad you're in school and it's going well.
Oh, I love it. It's something that I've been wanting to do for so many years, and I just kept putting it off.
Yeah, no, good for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, right, so in your new case, so you'll be leaving in about 4 to 6 hours in both of these cases. In your new case, the theft of the credit card case, your status conference is going to be August 15th at 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing is going to be August 19th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse.
Okay.
You'll be given information for pretrial services supervision. So same conditions and restrictions of release as I stated earlier. Make sure you contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release.
My same probation officer that I had.
Same probation officer,
okay.
yeah. And if you ever have a problem getting a hold of the probation officer, it's always a good idea to go down to the probation office.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Ms. Vargas, do you have any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Angelica Garcia, and then Rolando Calderon will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Angelica Maria Armenta.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Ms. Garcia, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th at 8:30 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming bond in the amount of $750. It is a secured appearance bond, meaning you can pay that amount directly or work with a bail bonding company. Because it's less than $1,000, some companies may not work with that number. I believe that there are some that will. So if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Ms. Garcia, do you have any questions?
Okay, so I'm not being released today? Or?
No, you have to pay bond to be released.
Okay. I went to rehab. I did everything that she said. I've been trying to contact my probation officer, and she does not return my phone calls. Even when I was in rehab, for the time I was in there, I even had the facility call her, and she would not answer my phone calls. I keep going on and on with her, and she does not. She doesn't answer me. I don't know what else to do.
Well, Ms. Garcia, I mean, so she's listing that she hasn't had any contact from you. Probation officers generally aren't going to just not call people back if they're actually calling them. And it's not saying that you called and left messages or things like that in the notes.
Yeah.
So the answer is to go down to the probation office if you can't get in touch with the probation officer.
When I got out of rehab, I hurt my knee and I couldn't move. I was out for like a month. I could not move. I was actually in jail for another case, and I was in crutches because of it. And afterwards I was stuck. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, so, and Ms. Garcia, I mean, but you weren't arrested at home.
No.
No. Right. And so this is, I talked to the gentleman earlier, about there's people who never will let an excuse get in the way. They'll never let anything get in the way of them complying with probation. There's other people that there's always an excuse for why they don't comply. And I think you believe in those, that they're good reasons, right? But, I mean, I guess being bedridden, and if you really couldn't get in touch with your probation officer, but again, that would be unusual, because you then could call down to the probation office itself.
I didn't have a cell phone. I just barely got a cell phone.
Okay.
2 days ago.
Okay.
Like
so,
literally 2 days ago.
All right. Well, and look, I mean, if 2 days ago you had self-surrendered, if 2 days ago you'd called, I mean, if there was something that was different here, then I could maybe do something different.
Yeah.
But I don't have that.
Okay.
And you have had your probation reinstated before, so you know the consequences of not being in compliance. So again, what I'm recommending to you is don't let things get in the way in the future.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because then you don't have to come back here, you don't have to spend any time in custody. You can get through probation and not have to worry about it anymore.
Okay. And
All right.
when is my next court date then?
Your next court date is August 7th, 8:30 a.m.
Okay, so I'm here until then?
Yes, if you don't pay the bond, correct.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Good luck to you. Rolando Calderon and then David Padilla will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Rolando Calderon, 11.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant. You have a status conference August 6th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing August 8th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm affirming bond amount of $500. It is a secured appearance bond. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. It's less than $1,000. Some companies may not work with that number. I believe there are some that will. If you pay the bond, you're promising you'll be released, and you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you must admit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Mr. Calderon, do you have any questions?
Yes, I was wondering, I've been clean for a year. I've been working on myself. I've gotten everything figured out. I'm living with my grandmother now. I'm not on the streets anymore. I'm helping pay bills with her. And I was just wondering if there would be something like pretrial services or anything like that. I've been sober for a year.
So I don't think so, sir. I mean, you've had your prosecution suspended twice and then didn't comply with the diversion program. So now this is the second time it's happened.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is on you. You haven't stayed in contact. You haven't been doing those things. And I mean, I'm glad to hear that you've been sober for a year. That's great. But you got to, you knew what was, you knew this was inevitable.
Yeah.
So, so I'm going to keep the bond in place, sir.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you. All right, David Padilla and then Joshua Lambert will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
David Isaiah Alcala Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla. Mr. Padilla, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for failure to appear. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Padilla, I am affirming bond amount of $500. However, it's my understanding you are currently in DOC custody.
Yeah, that's why I failed to appear.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, and so here's the thing. It wouldn't matter whether it was a $5 million bond or a $50 bond. So that's why I'm just keeping the same bond in place. Don't pay it, though, because
Yeah.
even if you pay it, you wouldn't be able to be released.
Yeah.
But they will transport you to court on the 7th. This should count as time served that you're here right now. Mr. Padilla, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Joshua Lambert and then Eric Hall will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Joshua Lambert, 2.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Mr. Lambert, you're here on 2 Superior Court probation violation warrants. These are for violations of terms 3, 4, and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Lambert, I am affirming bonds in the amount of $100 in one, $50 in the other. Total is $150. It's secured appearance. You can pay that directly. Technically, you can work with a bonding company. However, the amount's so low, I don't believe any companies will work with that number. I may be mistaken, though. If you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates and promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Lambert, do you have any questions?
Yeah, man, is it possible if I could get the bond waived, man? Because I haven't had I'm on the streets right now. My old lady, man, she's got a broken foot and 3rd-degree burns on her other foot. And we're both currently homeless, and it's kind of hard for her to get around with our belongings. And I haven't had no mishaps of not showing up. I did this one time, so I forgot to call them. I believe that's why I'm on the violation status, because I forgot to contact with them. But since then, I have been on the Suboxone program with the CMS program right there on Northern.
Yeah, it looks like your last contact was back in April.
And I have no phone. My phone's stolen. That's why I haven't been in contact. But I had to ask CMS to contact and reach out and kept it with to where he could keep contact, to where they send reports to him.
Yeah. Well, I guess here's my concern, Mr. Lambert, is what's going to be different tomorrow if you get released than was different for the last few months?
I make it personal to where I got to make it a personal appearance to him. To where it's got to be face-to-face, not no phone call, where I got to go in and be face-to-face with him.
Okay. Mr. Lambert, here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and release you in these cases. So I'm going to release you, sir, so that means you're going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now, okay? So my hope is that you will take this opportunity and really get in compliance with probation. And again, if you were listening earlier, I have no doubt it's really tough. It's really hard to be on probation. It's hard to comply, especially if you're dealing with homelessness, not having a phone, things like that.
That's the hardest part, the homeless.
I don't, Mr. Lambert, yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is I can't know exactly what that's like. I'm sure it is extremely difficult. But nevertheless, you do have to comply, and so I'm giving you this chance.
Thank you.
Go down in person, ask for help with, they provide services for places to stay, they provide services with bus passes and things like that.
Yeah, well, we got a couple of things in the making to the CMS program. That's why I was asking for the help to help.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
So I guess my point is, I have no doubt that you can do really hard things, harder things than I've ever done in my life. So view this the same way. You can do hard things.
Right.
You can find a way to make this happen if you want it to happen. I truly believe that. And so, Mr. Lambert, I would strongly encourage you, make it happen. Get down to court, keep asking, or get down to see the probation officer, keep asking. If for some reason you get out of compliance, go down, self-surrender.
Right.
When people self-surrender, I almost always say, okay, let's get you out of here. Let's get you on your way. That's going to be better than having...
It almost like that today anyway. It's almost like that.
Well, right, but but sure, it is almost like that. But I guess my point is, you're potentially looking at 7 days in jail before you see the judge.
Right.
This way, you're on your way in essentially a day. Right. So that's my point. But try to not even let it get to that.
All right.
Okay? Again, I believe in you, Mr. Lambert. I think you can do this.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Bye.
All right, Eric Hall and then Logan Hester will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Eric Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, you're here on a Justice Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of 1 count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have appointed you an attorney. You have an arraignment hearing August 20th, 9 a.m. at the Santan Justice Court. Mr. Hall, I'm going to release you on supervised release, so you're going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You will see pretrial services and be provided information about supervision. You must comply with that. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Please understand, you have additional conditions. I'm going to go over those with you. They can be modified by another judge in the future. These are standard of what we put in place anytime there's any sort of a domestic violence incident. So you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You must find an alternative residence, provide proof of the same to the court, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. You may have no contact with the alleged victim for any reason, even if she contacts you first, and you cannot reside at the same location, even if you are an owner or renter of the residence. You're entitled to one civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement, schedule a time to meet an officer who will escort you to the residence so that you can obtain your essential belongings. It's not moving out. It's really just getting wallet, phone, things like that, like, just some quick things. You also could have a friend or family member, if that's possible, go and pick up your things as well. So, Mr. Hall, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Logan Hester and then Mara Gutierrez will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Logan Hester, 02.
Thank you, Mr. Hester. Mr. Hester, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. Just a moment. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is for failure to appear, and you have a probation hearing scheduled August 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Hester, they just wanted a $50 bond. Given this small amount, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. However, it's really important you get to court on August 7th. Really important that you reestablish yourself with probation. Reach out to your probation officer. Understand if you don't show up again, there almost certainly is going to be a very high bond put in place. So make sure to get this taken care of. You'll be leaving in about 4 to 6 hours. You have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must submit to fingerprinting at the Reston Police Department. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Hester, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hester. Good luck to you. All right. Mara Gutierrez and then Michael Patagoni will be on deck.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Mara Gutierrez,
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Ms. Gutierrez, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations of 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, it's a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 15th, 8:30 a.m., preliminary hearing August 19th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Ms. Gutierrez, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. So that means you're going to be leaving here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you are being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Ms. Gutierrez, do you have any questions?
no, sir.
All All right, thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael Fatigoni, and then Chase Mariscal will be on deck.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good evening, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Michael Fatagoni, it is.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fatigoni. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations, excuse me, 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug. Sorry, Mr. Fatigoni. Just got something stuck in my throat. 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, 1 count of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or canceled, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of failing to show your driver's license or ID, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 15th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing August 19th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. So you are going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you are promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Fatigoni, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you. Chase Mariscal. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Chase Damon Mariscal.
Thank you, Mr. Mariscal. Mr. Mariscal, you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant. You have a status conference August 8th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Mariscal, I'm going to release you on supervised release. You're going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you are being released, you are promising to go to court on August 8th and make all of your other court dates. It's really important that you go, sir. If you don't, another warrant will be issued for your arrest. You will be rearrested next time. It's almost certain you'll have to pay a high bond in order to be released.
Yes, sir.
You must comply with supervision, and you have the standard conditions and restrictions of release as well. Mr. Mariscal, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Just one moment, please, sir. Oh, sure enough. I have to edit number 14. All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Kenneth Murdoch, 5.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, you are here on an out-of-county warrant and on a Superior Court new case. We'll start with the new case, sir. I find probable cause for the allegations of 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. That's a Class 2 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 6th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing August 8th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Murdoch, I am setting a cash-only bond in the amount of $100,000. You also have a $750,000 cash-only bond in your out-of-county case. So total bond is $850,000 cash only. That means you have to pay that directly. I believe you can work with a lending institution such as a bonding company. However, it likely won't be the 10% terms. But if you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates, comply with supervision, and you will have an electronic ankle monitor installed. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. Let's see. Mr. Murdoch, do you have any minor children?
No.
Okay. So you're not to have any contact with minors. There are no exceptions to that. You're also prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means. The only exceptions are for work and school purposes. You're also not to possess any weapons. Then, Mr. Murdoch, regarding your out-of-county warrant, this is from the Safford Justice Court, and the charges in this case are 1 count of murder in the 2nd degree, a Class 1 felony, 1 count of aggravated assault involving serious physical injury, a Class 2 felony. You'll have an attorney appointed at your next hearing for purposes of the bond issue. You have an arraignment hearing scheduled August 2nd, 8:30 a.m. at the Safford Justice Court. As I stated before, you have a cash-only bond in the amount of $750,000 with those same conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Murdoch, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir.